Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Hotspots magazine celebrates the holidays with Cirque du Soleil magic, festive recipes, World AIDS Day concerts, and a tribute to Bill Spinoza. Read more in the magazine as it is already on stands.
Fort Lauderdale's Stonewall Museum gains national acclaim as a must-see LGBTQ site celebrating queer history amid rising erasure concerns and an upcoming gala plans.
A global Cloudflare failure crashed Grindr, Sniffies, and more, disrupting queer social apps for hours. The company soon apologized and restored service.
A Florida funeral worker was fired and arrested after tearing down a pride flag at Starbucks following a confrontation with a manager over the display.
Fired for displaying a pride flag, an FBI trainee alleges unconstitutional retaliation, sparking fears of a renewed Lavender scare within the Bureau.
All this important LGBTQ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight's YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBT streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Thursday, November 20th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Alex, it's always fun to have you at this table. How are you doing? Tell me what's happening out.
I'm fine, Eric. Thank you for having me. You know, I just want to say to everyone, you all know watching me, I always have something fun to say. I just want to congratulate Elijah Manley on his opponent's indictment. Good for you, girl. Always keeping it going. Seriously, he's a great host when he's on here, and we hope to see him more often.
Let's welcome anchor Jennifer McClain, a powerhouse entertainer for over 20 years. She has captivated audiences from Key West to Fire Island and beyond. Featured on CNN and in the film Big Easy Queens, she's a multi-award-winning singer and actress, celebrated as South Florida's favorite local celebrity and beloved performer on land and sea. Jennifer, it's always a pleasure to have you at this table. Shelley Keeler's Bette Midler tribute, Bathhouse to Broadway, will light up the Gray Box Theater on November 22nd and 23rd. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, you can experience the magic of Shelley Keeler's Bette Midler tribute Bathhouse to Broadway, a dazzling musical journey presented by Upstage Productions. This event is taking place at the Gray Box Theater on November 22nd and 23rd. And this acclaimed show brings Midler's legendary rise to life, featuring hit songs like The Rose, Wind Beneath My Wings, and everybody's favorite, Otto Titzling. The production showcases powerhouse performers Shelley Keeler, Sabrina Lynn Gore, Christy Rose Mills, and a dynamic live band. And this is a fantastic new space. I know we've talked about already, the Gray Box Theater.
Right.
Brand new theater right on 26th in the plaza that I still call the old Florida Seafood House Plaza, because I've been around for a long time, but it's where Wilton Collective is.
Yes.
And Gary Van Horn and Harmony Waves have all come together to bring the Gray Box Theater. And this is one of the first events, or maybe like the third or fourth even.
Yeah, they're very early on in the newer things that are renting up the space for their different concerts and tribute shows. For me, I'm excited because I feel like I haven't done enough homework with Bette Midler, so I'm excited to hear more of the early stuff that I don't really know so much about. You know, that's really what I'm looking
The stuff
forward
that
to.
was before you were born, right?
Well, sure, you know, so that's how we'd like to put it.
The stuff before we were old enough to go to the bathhouse.
Right, I was going to say the stuff that was the real VIP personalized experience in the houses of the bath. Yes.
This just sounds like such a wonderful event. And Bette Midler should always be honored. I only have one personal story with Bette Midler, but when I used to be with the Florida Gems, we had to like raise money to get this Trump balloon. And she quote tweeted us we raised the money within an hour.
Amazing.
She's just a wonderful person. She's involved. She's always so. Well, anything about Bette Midler, I'm always there.
As we all know, she's been an ally since the very beginning. I mean, you know, her and Barry Manilow in the Continental Baths, and that's where this show starts.
Yes.
Starting with her beginnings there.
Absolutely.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Bette Midler tribute from Bathhouse to Broadway on November 22nd to 23rd. Let's welcome anchor Larry Farver. Larry has over 20 years of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade, float design, production, and casting, honey. He is also a board member of the West Side Association. Larry, welcome back to the table. Tell me what's happening out.
It's just great to be here with you, Eric, Alex, and Jennifer, some of the finest anchors on our show, and I look forward to the stories ahead tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Eric Restivo. Eric is a well-known DJ, cabaret singer, and host here in South Florida. Over the last 15 years, he has been a DJ with residencies in New York City, P-Town, and LA. Eric can now be seen and heard hosting and singing weekly all over Wilton Drive. Welcome to the show, Eric. How are you, girl?
Oh, I'm good, girl. How are you? Listen, I just wanted to push. There's 2 more weekends left of Standing on Ceremony, the gay marriage plays playing over at the Foundry. I have the pleasure of starring in 2 out of the 9 short plays with an incredible cast. It was 11 actors, 9 different shows, 8 different directors, all under Ronnie Larson. So go to RonnieLarson.com. You can get your tickets for the remaining shows that have tickets available, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Isn't it close to selling out, like, completely?
It is. There's, I think, 13 tickets left for the final weekend. So this weekend we're going into tonight completely sold out. But listen, there's a thing about Wilton Manors that I've never known before to be a thing in live theater. People secure their spots and they buy tickets early on when they see the ads being published through the Foundry, and then they either forget or they do something that is bigger, and they don't come to the show.
And they don't cancel.
And they don't cancel. So put the wait list, people have been getting into the show from the wait list. So you'll be prompt for all of that at RonnieLarson.com. But yes, it's been a sold out, successful.
And it's a great show. I was there opening night, and I can't recommend it more. It is very timely, too.
Thank you. Yes, it cannot come at a better time. And it's wild that we need these plays so much right now. But I'm Eric Restivo, and let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine showcases holiday magic, community heroes, and festive feasts. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with features on a vibrant mix of entertainment, food, and community for the holiday season. Cirque du Soleil's 'Twas the Night Before brings high-flying wonder to South Florida, with performer Amelia DeWyke calling the show, quote, a guilty pleasure dream. Everything about my character is fabulous, end quote. For your Thanksgiving table, Hotspots spotlights lighter bites like sweet potato goat cheese bites, nutritious, festive, and perfect for grazing, along with a naturally sweet honey roasted turkey breast, my mouth is watering just saying this, made with Busy Bee raw honey. Hotspots also highlights Can Community Health's powerful World AIDS Day concerts featuring Rent stars Anthony Rapp and Adam Pascal. And finally, the issue honors the life of Bill Spinoza, founding president of the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Your free copy of the issue of Hotspots magazine is already on stands. And I say it all the time, anytime I get to start a show off or start the roundtable off with a feature on Hotspots, especially Hotspots, this exact magazine, and it's a holiday feature, it makes my job a little bit easier. It's a one-stop shop for everything, whether you need help deciding on where you're going for your dinner reservation or what form of entertainment you're taking in that night, especially in the South Florida Wilton Manors region, it's your place to go to. So.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful, and I really love those hotspot spotlights of lighter bites because, like, well, no, as someone who's on that bound, like, I can't eat big meals right now, so a few little things are fun, and bravo to saying that all in once.
Thank you.
I think we all need to say it, right? Hot spots, lighter bites.
See, there you go. Hot spots. See, I can't. It was a one and done.
And I gotta say, anything with goat cheese, I'm all in.
It was the goat cheese into the honey raw bee. Delicious.
Oh, honey and goat cheese.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up South Florida. Stonewall National Museum earns spot on the Advocate's top LGBTQ historical sites in America. Fort Lauderdale's Stonewall National Museum, Archives and Library is getting national recognition at a crucial moment for LGBTQ history and culture. The Advocate has named the institution one of the top must-see LGBTQ plus historic sites and artifacts in a newly published travel bucket list. The list highlights meaningful destinations, monuments, and cultural landmarks that help preserve and celebrate queer history, something advocates believe is increasingly vital. According to the Stonewall National Museum, Archives and Library President and CEO Robert Keston, quote, with the threat of erasure growing every day, highlighting where people can go to be immersed in our community's history and contributions is essential. This inclusion is an important spark for our team as we continue to uplift and amplify LGBTQ voices and stories. We hope many readers will visit us and enjoy the myriad of exhibits and artifacts we have on display, end quote. The honor comes on the heels of a New York Times spotlight that detailed the museum's resilience amid shifting societal attitudes and reduced federal support. Looking ahead, the museum is preparing for its annual Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes Gala, set for February 21st, 2026, with a major guest announcement expected soon. More information is available at stonewall-museum.org. You know, I have long been a fan of the Stonewall Museum and Archives. Even before I moved to Florida, I knew of it, and just honestly, I'm glad that they're getting these accolades, both from the New York Times and in the Advocate. And, I always say one of these days, I always claim, one of these days should just write a book, as any stupid writer claims we should do one day. Sure. And I'm like, what should the topic? Just go into the archives and just look at the different histories. There's all sorts of different book ideas you can get just going in there. Now I'm probably screwed up.
Chapters,
right?
Well, they have a fantastic library, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And any national recognition that can encourage people to visit Florida in this specific time is really welcome and really, really helpful, not only to our stories, but to our tourism.
That's right. I wrote it's about time.
List.
Yeah. I wrote it's about time. That was my first comment that I wrote for it,
Yeah, and I have to give Robert Keston a lot of credit. I mean, they do a annual recreation, which I didn't go to the one last year, but the one before that, for the Stonewall Uprising.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's important that we carry the torch of that history forward because, when I was coming out in New Jersey and going into Greenwich Village and going to the Stonewall, many years after the event happened, of course, some people didn't have that experience or know the history. So I think it's really important to keep that alive.
I agree with you. There's plenty of people who still don't know, who, not that it's to say they're living in a world of privilege, but just need to dig a little deeper, and that's the perfect place to do it. I didn't know all of the history about the Women's Fund until I really took a trip to the Stonewall Library and Archives, and you really do learn how much the women showed up for us as gay men in the queer community during, what they called the plague, and when they were still figuring out what was happening with the early stages of AIDS, and I think that it's a very, very important place for everyone to get to as soon as they can.
Isn't that what they say? Isn't that when they say that they changed it from saying GLB, which was gay, lesbian, bi, and they put the L first,
because to really of the way that prioritize.
the women, specifically the lesbian women, stepped forward.
Right.
I'm Jennifer McClain, and let's queer up gay culture. Cloudflare brings down Grindr and other gay apps. Grindr, Sniffies, and several major platforms were knocked offline on November 18th after a massive global outage at Cloudflare, the company responsible for routing roughly 1/5 of the world's internet traffic. Reports of trouble using Grindr started at about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. Users on both Android and iOS said that chats, the grid, taps, albums, and even the web version were unusable. Sniffies users encountered similar issues and flooded Down Detector, which was also affected with complaints. With queer social lifelines suddenly offline, one person summed up the mood perfectly. Quote, Twitter is down, AI is down, Grindr is down. Can't a gay boy live his life? End quote. Grindr's tech team quickly traced the disruption to Cloudflare's system-wide failure, and service resumed within about 3 hours. Later, Cloudflare CTO Dane Knecht apologized publicly, emphasizing that it wasn't a cyber attack. He wrote, quote, I won't mince words. Earlier today, we failed our customers and the broader internet, end quote, explaining that a latent bug triggered widespread crashes after a routine configuration change. Knecht promised full transparency and vowed that Cloudflare would, quote, do what it takes to earn that back, end quote. Cloudflare also brought down the websites of Hotspots happening out. Service was restored after approximately 6 hours. So Grindr was back up in 3. We were down for 6. Priorities, people.
I love the panic from the portion of the gay community that depends on Sniffies and Grindr and whatever else.
I hope I put that.
Oh, you really
I really
let us
tried to
know,
emphasize the
about that. But does that just mean that there were just too many people trying to use the?
No.
What was it?
No, it was from what I understand, it was a problem with a bug. They were doing a regular update in the service, in the Cloudflare, which services, like I said, 1/5 of the world's internet. That's a lot
of the world's internet.
That's a lot of waterfall power.
Yeah, right.
And so but it specifically affected certain apps. And of course, I mean, I shouldn't say of course, but the gays on Grindr and Sniffies were the first to realize there was a problem.
Yes, right.
Like the bat signal.
All like making fun of queers wanting their quick trade aside. This is actually a story that's both, with how it affects us as queer people, but it's actually a bigger, larger national story because so much of the internet goes through just a few major companies. There's this and Amazon Web Services. Remember, they had a down. And it creates a lot of questions about regulatory issues and monopolization of the internet. And we joke and Hotspots had a couple hours and, Grindr, but we really are not treating the internet well, and there's all these questions like, will the internet be very useful in a few years? And if these companies, just a few of them control it, if it's just that and AI slop, I don't know where we're going to have for the internet soon.
Yeah.
Imagine being alive for the creation of the internet and the complete depletion of the internet.
Well, thanks for reminding me I'm old, girl.
Well, we're all here. We're all together.
Well, just a quick aside.
Yes.
Many years ago, I worked with AT&T as a client in Bell Labs, and that was deregulated and the monopolies were broken down there, and now you look at there's more of an open competition. I think it needs to happen in the internet world.
Because you think you have your service providers, you think you have your Comcast, your Xfinity, your AT&T, but really you have Cloudflare, Amazon, and
whatever it is.
Apparently 3 others if they've got 1/5 of it. So that is a very interesting
I'm in the wrong business. Should have became an internet provider.
I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Florida man fired after viral attack on Starbucks pride flag. A Florida funeral home worker has been fired and arrested after he tore down a pride flag at a St. Petersburg Starbucks. Tucker Alden Kemp, 31, confronted the store manager last month, insisting the pride flag be replaced with an American flag because the rainbow was, quote, offensive to him, end quote. When the manager refused, the arrest affidavit says, quote, Kemp decided to take matters into his own hands, end quote. The Smoking Gun reports that he threw tea at the flag, ripped it from the wall, and tossed it in the trash, causing an estimated $210 in damage. Kemp was arrested on a charge of criminal mischief. He was subsequently dismissed from Dignity Memorial, where he'd worked for more than a decade. Well, what can we say? He is who he is. I'm sure he's not welcome back. But I give Starbucks a lot of credit for having the flag up still in these days where we're hearing about flags being taken down, or there's political pressure to do so with otherwise fear of retaliation.
That's right.
So we have to applaud, I think, Starbucks and other businesses that hold the ground.
It's still in their policy. I was reading that police report as it was up on the screen, just the little fine print, and it says that the manager, because it's closer to us, the magic. It says that the manager stated that it's Starbucks policy to have the pride flag up, and that it was not to be replaced by another flag because it's simply just policy. So the fact that that is still in place is nice to hear.
important.
I've actually been to that Starbucks in St. Pete before.
No, I hear you. I won't applaud Starbucks due to the sheer number of labor violations they're dealing with and how they're asking us to actually avoid Starbucks during their strike.
Are they on strike right now?
Yeah, they don't have a contract at the moment.
Right.
And they're asking until a contract's done. So that's my one pushback on that. But on him,
In relation to this story, how are you feeling?
well, that's where I'm getting.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, 'cause that's
on this,
relevant.
well, it is the union accused them of not treating queer staff very well. So they use our flag, but do they really care about us? But on this, it's an issue of
another conversation.
I think that people deserve, to be treated with dignity, and obviously what he did is inappropriate. I'm all for, finding out where he lives and protesting in front of his house at 2 a.m.
His address was on there.
All right, well, you can put, but I do worry when an employer just gets to fire someone before they're even convicted of something, of an act outside their work. I always worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, from an HR
That's
perspective,
understandable.
though, being in HR for over 20 years, you have to look at the fact that the manager apparently was there, witnessed it. So sometimes, that could be considered it is a hostile act, but not just because it was, an inanimate object that most of us hold dearly, to our hearts, but, what else is this person capable of? And
it was property damage, they said. So it was $210
and
probably
you look at
the pride flag I've ever heard.
Well, I don't know where they should go.
And you look at the industries. I mean, while he was not in his place of business, a funeral home where you expect to go and be treated with dignity, which I think was the name of the
Yeah, exactly.
you have to sort of wonder what he might be capable of in the future, being in the role that he's in. So,
And the deeper conversation is, what was his name? Tucker? Is that his name? He was, why is the pride flag so triggering to you? Let's dig a little deeper.
And the
Let's
lighter
go beyond,
side of things,
yeah.
usually when a story starts with Florida man does,
That's right.
it can go a lot
That's
deeper than that.
That's right. That's a whole other show, to be fair.
Florida man,
Yeah, we could do 45 minutes on that. I'm Eric Restivo, and let's queer up the USA View. Fired FBI trainee says pride flag dismissal sparked new Lavender scare. A decorated FBI special agent trainee says his firing over a pride flag display has triggered, a new wave of fear inside the bureau. David Maltinsky, 36, was dismissed 3 weeks before graduating from the FBI Academy on Quantico. He told The Advocate that LGBTQ plus employees across all 56 field offices reacted within hours. He said, quote, people immediately started scouring their desks of pride flags. Anything personal personal in nature, even it spread like wildfire, end quote. Maltinsky's lawsuit filed Wednesday in federal court alleges FBI Director Kash Patel and Attorney General Pamela Bondi unconstitutionally terminated him for displaying a Progress Pride flag at his Los Angeles workstation years earlier, a flag the FBI once flew itself. He warned, quote, "There's definitely concern that a Lavender scare has been sparked," end quote. He described a dramatic shift from earning top diversity awards to suddenly being seen as a political target. Civil rights attorney Chris Matei, representing Maltinsky, called the firing part of a wider purge. Maltinsky, now unhoused and jobless, says he's fighting for every LGBTQ employee afraid to be visible. He said, quote, "Stay the course, stay strong," end quote. You know, it's a shame that this is not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, even LGBTQ employee, FBI trainee, military trainee, electrical engineer, sound special. I'm trying to think of any sort of career or path or way that you've decided to live your life, someone who has not been persecuted for this, and unfortunately nothing shocks me anymore. So it's just another one.
No, I hear. I mean, like, I feel so terrible for this person. It's never okay to discriminate in hiring and firing. But at the same time, you know, hearing an FBI agent, especially under Trump's FBI, say, "Oh, they're mistreating me," that's like hearing a log cabin Republican being shocked there's homophobia in the Republican Party. I mean, like, the FBI has like 100-year history of terrible acts. They're talking about how they treated Martin Luther King, Waco, how James Comey treated the 2016 election. The FBI is not a good institution. Please, for the love of God, find a new career path, young man. I really hope for you on that.
I'm chuckling because I forgot about the log cabin Republicans.
Yeah, no, they're forgettable. They are forgettable.
Well,
Hey, girls.
but if I heard you correctly, he was fired for a flag he had on his desk years prior.
Yes.
At his Los Angeles workstation, which he no longer was at.
Right.
Right.
So
right,
I mean,
right.
that's crazy. So, and that's all part of this revisionist history that this administration is doing.
Well,
and trying to get rid of everything that's not, you know.
And I know the FBI is afraid of the Trump administration for the retaliation. I mean, you know, no matter what you think of the FBI, there's the fear across the board of retaliation and being fired. But to dig, like Jennifer said, and go back in history, that's just, you know.
It's unnecessary. And it's things, these are things that past Republican administrations were not obsessing over, right? We weren't distracted by silly things because of who the person running the country was. It's like the Republican Party now has all of it. We were talking about it quickly before this, but we were saying Nicki Minaj is a new artist who has gone to the Republican side, or maybe she's always been Republican. Now she's just showing her right colors. But there's a difference, in my opinion. And Alex, you can correct me if I'm wrong. In Republican and long-standing Republicans, by the way, I'm talking 10 plus years of being a Republican, 15 now, and then MAGA. It's like, it's a different thing. And I know it's under the same umbrella, but that's how I feel.
And Trump definitely has treated the FBI differently, very poorly.
Yeah.
Remember, like, I'm no fan of James Comey, but people don't always remember, when James Comey was fired by Trump, he was not in D.C. He was actually on a work trip, and he pulled the FBI director's security at the same time. Yeah. That was a very dangerous thing he did. He treats the FBI. So that's one of the reasons I feel for this young man, but I also am giving a hard time. Like, Trump has a very long history of mistreating the FBI, and his first term end now in this.
Well, and it's a major deflection. I mean, like Jennifer said before, going back and digging into history and looking under every nook and cranny and rock for what they can get against somebody in the community. When you look at the ongoing saga, I hate to bring it up, the Epstein files. Which, you know, and then you look at, well, why aren't they going after that? Why is that not being pursued to the vigor that it should be?
If you want my hypothesis, it's an easy way to know who will be blindly loyal to Trump. Remember, his FBI director is, I think someone mentioned, wasn't he a podcaster? He's just blindly loyal, and they're trying to weed out anyone that might actually care about the rule of law or, like, obey the rules and not just be blindly loyal.
He's just looking for people to say,
Nazi
jump,
Germany.
you know, jump, go, you know, and that's what it is, human sacrifice. LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up politics. What is going on for the Queen of Mean Greene? Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, long criticized for anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, says she now regrets her role in toxic politics. Speaking to CNN's Dana Bash after Charlie Kirk's death, she admitted her past rhetoric was extremely wrong. Greene added, quote, "I would like to say, humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country," end quote. Amid her feud with President Trump, she said his traitor remark was dangerous. Reflecting on her influence, Greene said she's trying to, quote, "put down the knives in politics," end quote, and hopes others come together as she seeks a new path forward. Trump, in a Truth Social post, says he no longer endorses her and suggested that Marjorie had gone crazy because, of course, he has called for a Republican candidate to run against her in next year's election. I mean, it's at this point, it's turned into a comedy show. You know, the ones that the comedian themselves are barking on 42nd Street 20 minutes before the show. They've got 20 tickets to sell and they're offering it to you for a Nathan's hot dog. I mean, it's, it's just a comedy show at this point.
What scares me sometimes is Marjorie Taylor Greene has been better than the Democratic Party on things like trying to protect Obamacare subsidies and stopping genocide. That concerns me. Right. But the gossip on this whole Marjorie Taylor Greene Trump thing, according to a TikTok or something from AOC, Marjorie wanted to run for U.S. Senate and in Georgia, and Trump stopped it. And that's what a lot of this fighting is actually about. So who knows?
Well, surprise, surprise, her about face is self-serving. Can you imagine that? Should I say her new face?
I mean, I don't know what's new about it, to be fair, but just looking a little tired.
Resting bitch face.
Yeah. No, listen, I love a resting bitch face. That's just a resting face. There's nothing happening at all anymore.
Can we just arrest them?
But yes, that's the...
Good.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. From Rehomo to Laguna, America's priciest Gayborhoods revealed. A new look at median home prices shows that some of America's most beloved Gayborhoods come with sky-high costs. Cape May, New Jersey, known for its beaches and queer-friendly bars, averages $1.82 million. New York's iconic Greenwich Village sits at $1.85 million, home to the duplex, the Stonewall Inn, and what one visitor called the first national park monument to acknowledge the fight for LGBTQ rights. Nearby Chelsea rises to $1.92 million, whereas Rehoboth Beach, or Rehomo, hits $1.94 million with its famous boardwalk. Topping the list is Laguna Beach, California at $2.5 million, the epicenter of queer Orange County. Well, for once, I'm glad that Wilton Manors is not on a list. But honestly, if you want my honest opinion, that just says places that aren't fun anymore. Once a Gayborhood gets that expensive, it's not fun anymore. All the fun queers can't afford that.
Yeah, I'd like to meet who did this study. Because Laguna Beach has maybe 1.5 gay bars, and one of them is in a basement of a straight bar.
But are they thinking households? Because it says neighborhood, I think that they're implying...
Laguna Beach, Laguna Beach is this big, and I would say that the amount of gay in Laguna Beach is that big. So
you wouldn't call it Laguna Beach.
I love your name for it. And they should probably take that and do something with it. But no, I wouldn't. Yeah. I would call Rehoboth Beach Rehomo. I think that's appropriate. I know Jeff McDonald and Dan, they vacation there. Yep. People in Wilton Manors talk about it. Laguna Beach doesn't feel like, has never felt like
I'm surprised Provincetown isn't up there. Because that's
right. You're right. Also, Cape May, I didn't know
that's just the ferry.
Yeah, I know Asbury Park, New Jersey is very gay. Asbury Park is very gay. Gay.
Absolutely.
But maybe because it's more of a beach town and not so much of a suburban neighborhood. I'm not sure.
P-Town must just have been slightly cheaper than those.
P-Town is seasonal. That's probably why. Because people leave P-Town hardcore. I did, not to get off topic too much, it's 1 minute news, but I did 1 year in P-Town with my husband, Todd, and we stayed for the entire year. I am telling you, it goes from 20 people to 3.
So you've been to the Governor Bradford in January.
It's
a fun, weird place at that time
It's
of
one
year.
of the only places open. It's like the Governor Bradford, and then that pizza place, George's, not Spiritus Pizza, but George's, which I don't even know if it's open anymore, but that one right past the Circle Square.
It's the whole like weird, you look like you're in a Stephen King horror novel.
It's true. It's so that's probably why it's not on there.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up the USA view. Did anyone know what the song meant as Keith Urban sang Pink Pony Club to Trump? Keith Urban stunned LGBTQ viewers after a video showed him performing Chapel Roan's queer anthem Pink Pony Club at a billionaire-hosted Mar-a-Lago party attended by Donald Trump. Posted by @tally.florida, the clip raised questions. Roan has once said that the song was inspired by discovering queer freedom. Her words cast an even stranger spotlight and point out the irony of Urban's performance at Trump's party. I mean, I know he can sing, but is he actually tone deaf?
He might be a little tone deaf. You brought up a valid point before this that I'm just going to completely bring to the table. Is that the reason for the divorce? Is he a Trumper?
Or is Nicole like, he's going to play at Mar-a-Lago? Cut.
Yeah,
cut.
I don't. Well,
Fish cut bait. What's a cut bait? Cut bait.
Yes.
I thought Pink Pony Club also implied fellatio, so given Donald and Bill's history, that might have been the inspiration.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
The Bubba.
Google it, kids.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Stephen King's Mr. Yummy set to become a new queer horror icon. A new queer horror icon may be emerging from the mind of Stephen King. Intrinsic Value Films is developing a feature adaptation of Mr. Yummy, King's 2015 short story described as a haunting tale centered on an elderly gay man confronting lust, loss, and mortality. Set at the Lakeview Assisted Living Center, the story follows Ollie Franklin as he recounts his 1980s memories and possibly paranormal encounters to his friend Dave Calhoun. Ollie recalls a fleeting nightclub meeting with a dazzling stranger nicknamed Mr. Yummy, who seems to reappear decades later, unchanged and inching even closer. Dave dismisses it as senility, but Ollie fears he's seeing the Grim Reaper himself. With a script by Troy Blake, the project is being shopped to buyers. Well, over the years, I've been a fan of many of Stephen King's works, sometimes entertainment value, some are a little deeper in the horror genre. One of the cool fun facts is I have an aunt who lives in Bangor, Maine, down the street from one of his homes.
Oh, cool.
It has a complete gargoyle fence. So I think it sounds exciting. I'm glad that he's using a gay genre. We know that he's on our team as far as being supportive and ally. And I think that that's great. And I think that reinforcement of these types of storylines is going to keep our community strong through the tough times.
Yep. I would just like to remind everyone, I've been a horror fan my whole life. The villains, well, just because they're queer icons, you're not going to live till the end of the movie. Okay, they're still going to come for you. So like we made the Babadook a queer icon, she still killed everyone in the end. Okay, we made Chucky a queer icon, no one survived. Megan, we know how it ends. So I mean, let's just, yes, queer icons, fun, fabulous. However, in the horror film genre, you should know how to survive a horror film, and get out yourself, because they're not going to save you. That's all I'm saying.
There is an interesting overlap between the queer community and the horror genre, but since no one else here will say it, I'll just say it. I'm shocked that they're going to do a documentary about either P-Town or Wilton Manors.
Yeah. I almost took the bait right there, but there is a special venue that some people call Club Purgatory that sticks out in my mind.
In P-Town?
In Wilton Manor.
Oh,
no, I think P-Town actually has a Club Purgatory.
Yeah, but that's way more. That's way more like Purgatory, like devil.
God's waiting room.
God's waiting room is another way to put it. Yes.
But Shardy's has been closed for years.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Queer love that lasts. Hollywood's longest running LGBTQ couples. Dating may feel toxic these days, but many queer celebrity couples prove love can last. Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka recently celebrated 20 years together. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi have been going strong since 2004. RuPaul and Georges LeBar passed the 30-year mark, marrying in 2017. Coleman and Raul Domingo first connected through Craigslist, the Misconnections ad section, and now celebrate 2 decades together. Elton John and David Furnish have been together since 1993. Melissa Etheridge and Linda Whalem turned friendship into marriage, and Lily Tomlin and James Wagner finally wed in 2013 after decades of partnership. Sheesh, I love love. I love queer love. I've been with my partner since I was 21. I'm 37 now, so I hope that I get to join the LGBT Hall of Fame of celebrity, in my mind, celebrity couples that have lasted as long as some of the ones we just named. Yes.
No, I'm glad to see like Neil, Lily Tomlin, and Neil Patrick Harris, just to make me not have to think about Ellen DeGeneres.
I know. As I was reading it, I was getting that aftertaste, you know, and then I thought it would be saved by Portia. And I've never really felt like she had any redeeming qualities about her, even before I couldn't stand Ellen. So
she at least had their wife and George W. Bush.
Great.
Well,
Yeah, and I love to see, you know, Lily Tomlin and Jane Wagner. I mean, they collaborated in the early days, and I think they've been together at least as partners for 50 years.
Yeah, they have. They've been together long. And
Yes.
Jane and her collaborated on her Tony Award-winning show.
Yes.
The Search for Intelligent Life in the Universe.
Yes, thank you.
Her one-woman
Yes,
show, yeah.
Absolutely.
Jennifer McClain knows titles, lyrics. She has a superpower.
Oh, so she's
no
the good
matter
trivia
what. Yes.
person.
Oh, don't get me started. I love
okay.
trivia.
That's
I'm
a whole
very
nother.
competitive.
Today's Thursday. That's a whole nother Friday. Yes, that's a whole other
Yeah.
conversation. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support if our community is to grow and then thrive. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Eric Restivo, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, Alex Morash, Jennifer McClain, and Larry Farver. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Night.
Good night.